Jay. Welcome to Muscogee Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar. SJ, Stongo, Gary Fife, Jaho Jifkados.
Darren DeLonge, Jifkados.
Muscogee Radio, Mabo Hedgetawedskis. Welcome to our program this week. As we're trying to figure out whether it's going to be spring or it's going to turn into the last little gasp of winter. We got a couple things lined up for in the way of athletics for us today.
Yeah, for starting off today, we're going to be speaking with Madison Factor, who is one of the, candidates for Miss Vibe, one of the, magazines that runs through Oklahoma about it. It focuses on high school sports. So Madison is one of the candidates on there. We're really proud of her. Creek citizen, a great person, great player as well. And also, we're going to be speaking with Jared Horath, or we call him as Coach Slim. He's the owner of Patty's Kickboxing down here in Okmulgee, downtown. And we're going to be talking about an event that he's going to be having this weekend on February the 11th.
And, of course, we want to mention that we're going to have Mitch Jack setting in on that first interview. He's kind of promoting Madison and hoping that folks will be interested enough to go to the website and vote for her and see if we can get some honors there. Mm-hmm. As far as other things, we have, we've got a lot of Valentine's, sweetheart kind of things coming up.
Goodness.
Yes, a lot of folks getting a little mushy here.
I think I'm like majority of there's a lot of other people that we wait till the 15th. That's because of the chocolate's half off. I just patiently wait for February 15th for that day.
Well, the one of the weird things for me is that just a couple days before is my wife Ramona's birthday.
All right.
So I get a double whammy there. I get to celebrate her birthday, and then 2 days later.
And look at it that way too. I mean, that should help you remember her birthday. I mean, to be honest with you, if you something's supposed to happen around this time, two things are supposed to happen. So you can look at it that way as well. I mean, I know a lot of people will have their some people I know have their birthdays around Christmas and everything, so they feel that sometimes they don't forget, because their birthday and Christmas are around the same time. But
yeah, well, this is the situation here. If I do forget, I'm in big trouble there. So how could you forget something like that?
Exactly.
But for some strange reason, she's run across this, let's call it a gold mine of chocolate. Gone to a family thing and won a big, large, heart-shaped box of chocolate, and then I gave her some for Christmas. That is still good, and gosh, I'm covered there. So,
hey, Ramon, if you have any of that chocolate left that you just can't have anymore, feel free to give it to Gary, and he can bring it down to the office.
Yeah, the horrible thing about all of that is I'm allergic to it. So, it's like just can't touch it.
Oh, wow, never mind. Disregard that comment.
I can, as long as somebody else eats it, that's fine.
Join the Brew Crew.
Honestly, for me right now, I'm in that, and I'm pretty sure our the guy that we're going to be interviewing later on this afternoon in our show, it will be know more about it. But I'm on this little not really a diet, but kind of like kind of like a way just to how I eat. It's called intermittent fasting. And another thing with it right now is you have of course it's a fast. You're fasting there's certain times throughout the day where it's like a 16-hour fast, and then you have an 8-hour window to eat. Mm-hmm. Which in some cases is good. Because you're kind of like working off all your all those glucose whenever you're working out. So because you can't eat anything, and but there's also different types of windows. There's like a 24-hour fast where you just don't eat nothing that whole day, And then there's also, like they call it, a warrior diet, which is a 20-hour fast, and then there's a 4-hour window. So I'm trying one of those out right now. I think yesterday I tried out the 20-hour with the 4-hour diet, with the 4-hour window to eat. So forgive me and forgive everybody. Please forgive me at Muscogee Media, too, because I'm going to probably be very grouchy the next couple of days. I mean, whenever I see everybody eating, I'm just looking at you with wanting to, like, take your food out of your hands.
Yeah, a little licking of your lips action there.
I know. That's going to be the big bother. I have somebody that's working with me on it right now, so I'm not doing this alone. So she's holding me accountable, so I have to hold her accountable, too. So it's going to be a big help.
Well, now that you've announced it in public, all of our listeners will hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Wear a muzzle or something like that. Stay away from fry bread and wild Indian dinner.
That's the rough part, too, because we know that season's already among us.
Yes. I think they had one last week in West Tulsa, wasn't it?
Yeah, West Tulsa or Sand Springs or something like that. Yeah, it was already going. I heard it was. I mean, from what we were already told, it was got quite a lot of people already up there. So everybody knows whenever those wild Indian dinners start, there are going to be people there 2 hours before everything starts going.
Right, and for the people putting those on, please have enough on hand to feed the masses.
Yes, because those people will be coming in quickly, and those run out so fast. I mean, they're just a hot commodity.
Yes. If you need 2 fishes and 3 loaves, that kind of thing to help you out in those churches, well, let's hope it does.
I agree. Well, Gary, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we're going to be coming back with Madison Factor, and we'll be talking about her young career in high school basketball. Yeah,
and I was chatting with her just a little bit, and I was intrigued by the world of rural basketball, and particularly for girls. So let's get a chance to chat with her. Okay, we'll take a short pause and be back with more Muscogee Radio here on 1240 The Brew.
I started doing it when I was 11. I wanted to be just like my big brother, and some of my friends were already doing it. We got hooked fast. I just can't get enough. I'm Jacob, and I'm addicted to playing the drums.
There's lots of stuff that makes it cool to be native. Doing meth isn't one of them. Find something better to do. Check out ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Hear that? That's the sound of hope being killed by meth. Methamphetamine use is causing huge problems in our community. Hear that? That's the sound of something you can do about it. Events like rodeo, res ball, and family time can help keep kids away from meth.
Talk to your kids. Keep our culture alive. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
Learn more at ncai.org.
Welcome back to Muscogee Radio. This is Darren DeLon. Gary Fife left me for wanted me to take the reins on this one, which darn you, Gary. This is pretty. I'll play. He's right here. Well, I'm sitting with National Council Representative Miss Jack from the Mvskoke District, and also Madison Factor, who plays for the Muscogee Lady Vikings. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. I'm finally remembering all these team names and these mascots. How are you doing, Madison?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. How you doing, Representative Jack?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing okay. Now, we got, of course, we got Madison in here for a really great reason. She has been selected, and I'm going to let Representative Jack take over on what she's been selected for.
Thank you, Darren. Madison Factor is a 16-year-old Muscogee citizen and plays basketball for Muscogee Lady Vikings, a Class B school south of Mvskoke. Madison is contending for VIPE, Shelter Insurance, Miss Basketball, Oklahoma. They started out with 50. Now it has been down to 25. Then it will be narrowed down to the top 3. Madison has been polling in the top 6. She was in 4th and 3rd place. Madison is of the leading scorer in the state. She is coached by Muscogee citizen Ricky Wolf. Miss Wolf also coached her sister, Cindy Factor, whom was a All-Stater. Her stats are averaging 15.7 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 4.2 steals, 4.3 assists, 1.7 blocks. She has 960 career points so far and still climbing. And Saturday, they will start their district playoffs for the Class B. And one thing I would like to add is encourage all citizens to vote on the Vipe.com, and we'll see what we can do, and then hopefully get her in there. Thank you.
Awesome. That is great to hear. Congratulations, Madison, so far on with this attribute.
Thank you. I really don't know how to explain it.
I'll be at a loss for words as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the top players in the state. I mean, a couple years back, I got to interview your sister.
Yeah.
Talk to her about that. I know she had she was a little starstruck. We were all starstruck about that as well for her. I mean, because it was an amazing thing what she done, and now it sounds like you're doing it too. And I know he was mentioning you're 16 years old. What grade are you in right now?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore.
Yes.
What so far? So he gave us your the list of like all your points and steals and blocks, your averages. Mm-hmm. How's the competition been like this year for you for this season?
Well, this year it's been pretty tough because everybody like we play, they just wanna like beat us. I don't know, like.
So you're a target pretty much. They're coming after you every game.
Yeah.
Do you I see that. I mean, your team. I mean, y'all's doing pretty well. I mean, what's your record right now?
Right now we're 18-4, I believe.
Okay, and y'all play around, of course, very southern district of Creek Nation. If not, I know it's near Woboka. Is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
it is.
With those type of teams, but y'all do venture out. I know y'all played, if I'm not mistaken, Riverside.
Yes, we did. They're a really good team. So like we had pretty good competition there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think from here on out, you're just going to have the target on your back. Because these awards, is just going to keep getting more and more for you.
Yes.
I mean, it's already started.
Yeah.
This is put it to you that way. So again, congratulations. But you say you start districts is it this weekend?
Yes, this Saturday.
Where's the districts going to be playing at?
Well, we're hosting districts down at Sasakwa.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all know who y'all's first round going to be?
No, we have the winner of Indianola and Milburn.
Indianola, Milburn. How are those two right now?
Well, they've been struggling, but that don't mean anything.
That don't mean nothing. Yeah, exactly. When it comes to districts, everybody's 0-0. Yeah, and I from all our playing days, a lot of upsets have happened.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our own March Madness, even though it starts in February. So, speaking of Sasakwa, that's in, of course, like we said, the southern district of Muscogee. Very rural. Very, very rural. I'm not even sure the population of Sasakwa. I'm going to say, if correct me if I'm wrong, maybe the 200 or 300.
Yes, that's probably true.
And I know there's another little school that goes pretty close to there, Justice, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One good thing about that is what I'd like to know, and for you to comment on is rural. I have, and let me just get clear myself again. I always have like a strong feeling in my heart about rural basketball, and the reason why is because the bigger schools, they get all the acclaim, they get all the publicity. With the rules, you get a lot of the following, and I'm not meaning following just by school following. We're talking all these little towns will follow their team, follow those players. And how does that make you feel when that happens?
Well, I really don't know. Like it. I don't know.
You're at a loss for words, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. Whenever, we go with the state of Texas, they follow their football really closely. And we've known that there are towns that will shut the town shuts down pretty much. All those businesses close to go to these games. That's the same with Oklahoma basketball, and when I mean Oklahoma basketball, I mean Oklahoma rural basketball. And you might be able to verify this or not, but I know a lot of little towns, they will shut down just for these games. So that's always almost a great thing. But what I want to ask is, like, whenever do y'all play? Y'all have already played Riverside. Are there any bigger schools that y'all play that y'all may have scrimmaged against or that y'all take on in the season?
Not really. Riverside was probably the biggest school that we've played.
What do you think is the difference between, or what makes it rural basketball more fun to you? Is it a run and gun? Is it more of a feed it to the post, slow it down type of game? Or what kind of style does rural basketball have, and what kind of style does Sasakwa Lady Vikings have?
Well, really, we just do whatever we can. We mostly run it and just throw it, just keep running the ball and throw it down to our post whenever we can.
So it's like a mixture of both, pretty much, so no matter what. And another cool thing about, of course, we always say rural basketball, the post can run.
Yes, they can.
The post probably can run as fast as the guard.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit, Madison, like, was there any inspiration, or do you have any heroes that play basketball or may have not played basketball?
Well, I really don't know. That's a good question. Well, my mom played basketball, so she's always been into that. And my sister played, and my brother, and like we've just always been around, and it's just always been a part of my life. So
you pretty much grew up with the basketball around you, no matter what.
Yeah.
You probably started dribbling before you could walk. One of those stories.
Yeah.
So tell me, Representative Jack, when these girls go out there and they play, what's the atmosphere like for? And we're not talking just home games; we're talking away games too. Like, what's the atmosphere like for the Sasakwa Lady Vikings?
It's pretty good. They always usually got the hometown crowd behind them. It gets very loud, regardless of who they play. It gets very intense, and especially with those nail biters. That's when it really gets intense. Yes, sir.
Wow, with. Of course, Representative Jack and a lot of people around here, we've all grew up around the sport as well. So we kind of know those feelings, those situations. How do these girls handle those, like, nail biters? Because we after a little while we can take it, but some of these girls, they could clam up. But how does Madison? How's she able to handle that? Or do you see that leadership that she puts out during these games?
She's well represented in there as far as leadership. Her and a couple of other ones, one good thing I can say about them is they all work as a team. They communicate and everything like that, and they just go out there and play their heart out. And they are really a very, really good ball club to watch.
With your coach, obviously he couldn't make it here today.
Yeah.
Ricky Wolf, she knows what it's all about because she grew up. She grew up in a small community. Well, she grew up here in Muscogee, but she went to a school at Schulter, which very small community, was my rival growing up in high school too. But she made it to state and whenever she played. So she had a great team. She had a great, as Representative Jack said, great teamwork on that. They always helped each other no matter what. It was like one wasn't better than the other. They all were all equal. Is that the same for you, for your team as well?
Yes, mostly because, well, I'll just have to say practice is the hardest because no matter what, we're always pushing to do our best. And we know that the game will always be there and just do what we have to do in practice. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Great words,
Yeah.
Even though, because like you said, the practice is the hardest part because you got to, they always say practice makes perfect.
Yes.
You're never perfect, but you strive for perfection, and that's always the greatest part about it. So with the districts coming up, we got anything can happen, like you said, but y'all just still, what's the, where's the regionals going to be, area going to be? I know you're not looking that far yet, but, it has to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Regionals is actually going to be in Henrietta, and area will be at Quinton.
Okay. So, and like you said, with those, that's kind of like they're the best of the best. They're coming out pretty quick. Tell me about, I know it's real early. I mean, you say you're a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
You're a sophomore. What are plans for after high school? Are you still wanting to pursue basketball, or are you still wanting to compete, or just worry about junior year, senior year, and playoffs?
Well, right now, I really don't have a plan, but I plan on going to college. So that's one. And right now, I'm just trying to focus on junior and senior year, getting through school, getting good grades, and everything to come before me.
Full circle. Yeah, exactly. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when did you get the announcement for the Vibe? It's Vibe. My mind just went blank there, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. But when did you get the announcement for the Vibe that you're one of the candidates?
Well, I can't remember. It's been a while now. Like, they had me come to Tulsa to take a picture, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I'm getting this stuff, and like, and then a couple days ago, they was like, well, you're competing for the top 50, and I was like, huh? And like, I didn't know what they was talking about, so it was kind of a shocker to me. So
whenever you did you go? I mean, whenever you went up there, and when you were saying you were competing for the top 50, was there other players from other schools there too, or did y'all have to wear like y'all's own jerseys and take a picture or anything like that?
Yeah, we wore our own jerseys, and there was there were big schools like not Tulsa, but Sequoia, Preston, and like schools just around.
Just pretty much all over. And one of the great things about that is a lot of them are in the Muscogee Creek Nation. I mean, that just says a lot about the athletes that we have here within the Muscogee Creek Nation, with our citizens. But has it ever occurred to you that you could be an inspiration in your young life right now, that you're representing a lot of younger lady basketball players, and not just that, younger Muscogee Creek basketball players? Does that ever come across your mind?
Well, sometimes, like my coach, she's always like, you have people looking up to you. Don't just think just about them. Don't think about yourself. Like, think about everybody who looks up to you. So, like, it's just something.
There was once a little poem that I remember, and it's a lot it was mainly aimed towards leaders, but it could be aimed towards athletes. It's called Little Eyes Upon You. And no matter what you do and everything, there's always a person who's younger, a little kid, or who's always looking up at you. So they're watching your actions. They're seeing what you do. They're seeing how you react to a turnover, stuff like that. React to a bad call, and I'm pretty sure those happen.
Yes,
so it's a great thing about that. I mean, Coach Wolf is. She knows that firsthand. I mean, she knows she had little kids looking up to her constantly. So she's absolutely right, with how they're always like looking at you. They're wanting to see what you will do in those situations. So kudos to her and kudos to you as well. With when and I know Representative Jack probably made the announcement earlier, but when will y'all know if you won, or you're one of those people of Vibe, or the winners of Vibe? Would you do you know when that will be?
Well, the deadline for voting is the 15th, but I figured they'll contact my coach or something like that.
So February 15th will be okay. So is there a website right now? I mean, is it Vibe.com?
Yes.
Okay, so Vibe.com is where you go to make the votes for it. Is it just a one-time vote, or can you vote daily?
No, you can vote. You can vote multiple times throughout the day or whenever.
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, so for Madison Factor, we want to get her there, so we want you to vote, refresh that page, vote again. Just keep doing that. Well, do it during your lunch hour if you're working. We don't want you getting in trouble. But other than that, Madison Factor, Representative Jack, we want to thank you very much for making that trip up to Sasakwa. I've been down there a couple of times, and that's a drive.
Yes,
I'm not going to lie, that is a drive. So we want to thank you for taking your time taking the time out of the day to come up here. And I know you're probably, let's see, what time is basketball practice?
Like 2 o'clock.
Okay, so hopefully you get a little lunch and then get back down there. So Coach Wolf, if she's a little bit late, just blame it on me. It's understandable. I mean, she was up here for a good reason, for a good cause. So, but again, thank you very much, Madison, for being out here today, and thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be coming back with Coach Jared Horath, also known as Coach Slim, as we talk about the Sweetheart Showdown coming up here at the Brock Gym in Okmulgee. So please stay tuned to Muscogee Radio.
Who am I? Am I Indian? Just 'cause I'm a girl from the res, don't make things up about me. What if I move away? Then who am I? Some kids try meth just to escape, but then I think about my grandma, my little brother, my beadwork, my poetry, and I think, I like who I am, and I know meth is not for me.
Check out ncai.org, a message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
One Fire Casino in Okmulgee offers Ladies' Day every Monday with $5 match play, VIP days for seniors on Tuesdays, lunchtime match plays on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and several other great drawings and prizes throughout the weekend. Don't forget to take advantage of spinning the wheel on Sundays to win up to $5,000 cash. Be sure to check out the daily meal specials at Council Oak Cafe. There are exciting monthly giveaways with extravagant prizes. Come and play at One Fire Casino, where it really is okay to play with fire.
Welcome back to Muscogee Radio. This is Darren DeLong with Gary Fife. We all know the month of February brings a lot with Valentine's Day, so everything's like sweetheart, sweet this, sweet that, and we hear it all the time. But we got a new thing that's coming up this weekend on February the 11th. It still has that sweetheart name, but it's kind of bringing like a new definition to that sweetheart. So sitting with us today is his name is Jared Horath. But we all call him Coach Slim, and he's the owner of Patty's Kickboxing here in Okmulgee. And we're going to be talking about an event that he's going to be holding this weekend. So, Coach Slim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, feeling really great, happy to be here. The sun is shining.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So, Coach Slim, before we go ahead and get started onto the event, can you tell us a little bit about Patty's Kickboxing?
Well, Darren, I brought Patty's Kickboxing here to Okmulgee 3 years ago. My main reason for bringing it here is I believe that Okmulgee truly needs it, so I brought it here to this city for half the price of any gym in the state. So, and I do that because we're trying to get as many people in as possible. There's nothing for the kids really to do right now here in the town until we get other things built. And we're just trying to change lives, one class at a time.
Let me ask you about the sport itself. Probably most of our listeners are not familiar with the world of kickboxing, so maybe you can take a second here and give us kind of a capsule of what kickboxing is all about.
Kickboxing is today, especially here in the United States, as far as the fight world is concerned, it revolves completely around the UFC. You go to almost any other country in the world today, and the WKF, the World Kickboxing Federation, that's the UFC to them.
And UFC is what?
The UFC is what you see on TV, the cage fighting. It's they're fighting in 6-ounce gloves. It's on the ground with jiu-jitsu, stand-up fighting with hands and feet. It's all around sport. A lot of big names, a lot of big money. Conor McGregor, names like that, and that's just mainly stuff that you would see on TV. Whereas in kickboxing, we're trying to bring it back, especially here in Oklahoma. Just last week, they made me the state director of the WKF here in Oklahoma. So in kickboxing, what we're trying to do is just bring back traditional fighting.
Now, where did the sport come from?
Kickboxing, I want to say that it originated overseas. It's almost more of comes from the Muay Thai from Thailand.
Right, yeah.
Involving the hands and feet.
Well, with Muay Thai, that's what we heard. We always call it the art of 8 limbs. And with kickboxing being that, a branch off of that, does it still follow that same foundation. And when I mean the art of 8 limbs, we're talking legs, feet,
Everything,
yeah,
that's
elbows and stuff like that. Does kickboxing follow that as well?
It does, actually, and in our training with all of our children and our adults even that are just trying to get in shape and not become fighters, we train with the elbows and the knees. So we throw everything that there is, even though you'll see in our shows, we don't allow the clinch, which is grabbing the neck, and we don't allow knees to anywhere of the body or elbows because they're so dangerous.
The few times I've had a chance to catch a glimpse of it, it looks like it's a pretty rough sport. And the potential, I guess, for getting injured is pretty high if something goes wrong. Even if it does go right, you can get your bell rung pretty quickly.
That's right.
So what's that factor then? Is it?
With that, a lot
Yeah,
of...
excuse me, are you guaranteed to get clobbered or, you know?
Absolutely not. Really, in our training, we train moving forward, backing up, and side to side. A lot of gyms don't train backing up, so you see a lot of fighters in the middle of a fight actually covering up and taking blows from the other fighter when they should be backing up and getting back in stance and in position. In kickboxing, at our shows, we'll be using hands and feet only, punches and kicks only. Some of the ladies will be geared up for exhibitions. But in the sport itself, on the 26th of January, I just went pro, and I have an old saying where I always say, you know, one of the most dangerous times in the ring is when you're fighting another amateur that you don't know, or you don't know how they've been coached or how they've been trained. So really, you can get your bell rung in there. You can get hurt in there by somebody that has been thrown in too early, that doesn't have the proper training. And then when you go pro later on down the road, you notice that when you get in there, it's a lot more technical, and it's actually safer when you're fighting a pro because you can get hurt by an amateur that hasn't been trained right.
You know, Coach Slim, following what Gary said, with boxing, you know, you followed boxing as well. Me, you pretty much grew up around it.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of like regulations, you know, like, you know, we have, it comes to even to the point like whenever you're getting your hands wrapped, they could have, the inspector has to watch that at all times, and, you know, they have to initial it, and then they have to initial the gloves, make sure nothing's tampered with. Is something like that, is that the same in kickboxing as well, especially in these, with your fights?
Yeah, and we wrap up the fighters just like we do at the gym. Simple hand wraps and 12-ounce gloves. We make sure that they're wearing big gloves, and some of them be wearing headgear and leg gear as well. Some promoters have came to Okmulgee and put on other shows, and kind of came in and took the juice out of my beans, if you know what I mean. And this is our first show in Okmulgee, and we've been here 3 years. And the most important thing that comes down to any one of our shows, from the Shamrock Showdowns to the Sweetheart Showdowns, is the fighter. They're themselves, boy, girl, whoever. They're the most important thing that's going on. Everything revolves around them. They're the ones that are putting in the work. They're the ones that are killing themselves every day, and they're doing it for us. They're doing it for the town. They're doing it for the crowd. They're doing it for entertainment, and it all just really revolves around self-control and discipline. That's something that a lot of people don't know about fighting.
Now, as a former soccer player, I know what kind of impact or damage even that the foot can do to you. Do you take any precautions there? Do you strike them with the kind of the top of the foot, or toes get involved? Like,
yes, sir.
What's happening there?
Yes, sir. You actually have to be in almost the perfect position for a kick to land right. Even if you're kicking the punching bag, when you're too far away from that bag and you throw that kick and all that lands is your toes, it's just a quick way to pull in the top front of your foot and messing up an ankle. It has to be perfectly on the top of the foot. You'll see Muay Thai fighters kicking with the shins a lot, and we don't do that. We train just in kickboxing and take care of everything of the body is most important.
Now, this tournament you've got coming up, I understand it's all girl, all female competitors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
Well, every time we put on a show, the Shamrock Showdowns, which I just decided to start doing not too long ago, promoting the shows, advertising the shows, training the fighters. We're doing it all, and it's so that amateur male and female fighters can come out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma, and go pro and go worldwide if they want to. And we ended up with an all-girl show because every time we have a show, So you might see, in any other show that you'll see in the state or anywhere else in America, you might see 1 or 2 female fights in the show. Whereas I put on male shows, the Shamrock Showdowns. My girls are there. They're working the gates. They're running. They're making sure people are geared up. So they're not just taking care of the show, but some of them. I have a girl that's been training with me for 3 years, and this will be her first fight Saturday night. And the girls deserve it so much because I can't explain to you how much a determined woman can do.
I've been on the receiving end of a couple of determined women in my life, so yeah, I agree with you. I mean, now, when you see somebody like a Ronda Rousey, who's making it in her sport, has made a name. She branched out into doing movies and other things like that. Now, are there many of those around, or is she just sort of an exception to the rule?
Well, I like the fact that Ronda Rousey got beat by Holly Holm because she was an American kickboxer.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw her face afterwards.
Yeah, actually, you know, what we have down at the gym right now is I even have a 14-year-old girl that I'm looking at. She's going to be one of the best pro fighters probably ever come out of our gym. And we have probably about 5 to 6 right now potential pro fighters in our female group.
And what about any Indians, Muskogees?
Yes, I have about 4 or 5 right now that are of the Creek tribe here in Okmulgee. And, I mean, we've got 3 guys, 2 girls. Samantha Lackey, we call Bird. She'll be fighting this Saturday night, and it's her first fight. And we're really proud of that. We want everybody from Okmulgee involved, and we try to revolve everything around just getting the city back on its feet and just moving forward with the future.
You know, like you said, Bird, of course, she's going to be one of the people that's going to be on your card that night. How long has she been with Patty's Kickboxing? And, you know, has she told you what made her want to get into competing and, you know, and fighting?
Bird came in about 1.5 years ago and was just a mother of 2 boys and was just interested in the sport itself or in the gym and just wanted to get in shape. And as she trained, I saw the focus in her eyes. I saw how dedicated she was. She never missed class. She was doing both classes at night, and just it happens. You know, she walked into the office one day and said, "You know, Coach, I think I want to fight." And I immediately said to her, "I think I want you to fight too, because you'll be a great one." And she hasn't slowed down for 2 seconds since. I had her running sprints last night at 10 o'clock at night in the parking lot downtown.
You know, is there you know, we all know, I mean, we're all athletes, so we've all, like, trained in some way, you know, with competitive fighting, you know, and kickboxing, you know, is there a different type of training? Is there a different type of, you know how football does 2-a-days? Do fighters, like, from your gym, do they have to do something like that, similar?
Yes, it's full speed. Actually, 2 weeks up until the fight, the training is so intense that it's crazy. People have no idea. This week's schedule is today is all day sparring. As soon as I leave here, I'm back to the ranch and I'm in the boxing ring with the girls all day. And yesterday, they're having to come and run 5 miles. They're having to do both cardio classes, sprints at night, hitting the weights. Some of them are still cutting weight for this fight that's this Saturday. So the training is probably the most intense training that a person can be put through, but you know, it all pays off after the bell rings.
Now, I was a high school wrestler and I had the experience of being run through the conditioning program there. And that just, you know, for a 6-minute match, I mean, that's the most grueling 6 minutes because you put everything into it. You have to be in shape, you have to be able to endure, and then, of course, the knowledge that goes with it to pull off a successful match. I found that to be one of the, and actually called some of the toughest training of any sport that's out there. Now, is that something you would agree with in terms of kickboxing?
Absolutely. My gym, the actual name of my gym is Patty's Cardio Kickboxing. I will always be the first person and the first coach to say that the most important thing is your cardio when you're in there. When you're driving down the highway and you run out of gas, you got to pull over.
The sport is intriguing and watching it, but it also looks kind of intimidating because you see people catching a blow to the head that, you know, certainly ring my bell. But if someone approaches you about wanting to become part of the sport, what do you tell them? What do you caution them about, and what is it going to take for you to succeed? This kind of thing.
Mainly, my job, I'm always there for them to keep them moving forward and to keep pushing them. But once they come in, a lot of actually, I have more middle-aged women that's in my gym than anything. And when they first come in, it's always the same story. We see the bag swinging from outside. We see guys and girls in here throwing punches and kicks. Very intimidating. I was worried to death to walk into this place. After their third class, they don't have any questions anymore about anything, safety or any of that. They feel the positivity and the environment of the gym, and they realize that we're just a big, happy family, reaching out and helping each other and just staying humble and hungry and moving forward at all times.
So by the third class, they're either committed or they're gone, right?
Yeah, and we'll come to your house and get you.
He's not lying about that, just to let you know that. With Coach Lim, you were talking about, you said majority of them are middle-aged women. Are there, and I'm not trying to take this with a grain of salt, but like elderly, I'm going to say 50s, 60s, any of those that are in there for fitness?
I have Bruce Champ Mars is in his 50s, and he's looking at going pro, maybe this year. I also have a lady, one of our favorites and everybody loves, and she is Betsy Old School Griffin. She came to me 3 years ago, and she said, Slim, all I want to do is be able to make it up the 3 stairs that are on the back porch of my house. She had a hump in her back, so she stared at the floor everywhere that she went. Today she goes into the gym at noon, she hits the weights for an hour, and then she hits a cardio class, personal training for an hour, and then she comes back and does both cardio classes at night and gets around better than any one of our fighters. And when we do crunches, I even named them Old School Crunches. And when the rest of the class, I'm talking about 21-year-old boys, when they hear me say, we're doing Old School Crunches until Old School quits, all you hear is, because she can do crunches longer than any fighter that I have.
We hear a lot about concerns over safety in sports. You think of the later images of someone like a Muhammad Ali, where he was showing the effects of his career in fighting. And, of course, in football, they're concerned about concussions and things like that. Where does that fit in with what you do? Do you caution your people about this is what you can expect, or this is how to avoid it, or you better think twice before you commit?
We will, in the boxing world, I started boxing in 1988, and I actually started boxing under the coach that had worked with and trained Sugar Ray. And in the boxing world, they take so many punches, they're right up next to each other at all times, going to the head. And football, of course, they're, head-to-head at all times, full contact. And, they're wearing protective gear and they're wearing boxing gloves, but at the same time, that's why we train backing up, forward, back, side to side. The perfect fight in the kickboxing world is like the perfect basketball game. If you can go out there and guard the guy that you're playing, keep him from scoring without ever fouling him, and score on him, you have played the perfect game. The perfect fight in kickboxing is, I'm looking to go to Russia or wherever this year, and I'm looking to land my punches and kicks on the other fighter, blocking all of his and making sure that I don't even get touched. And that to me, that's the perfect fight, and that's the way we train. In kickboxing, you really don't. Yeah, you can take certain blows to the head if you're not covered up, and it really just comes down to how a person's been trained, and whether they can or will not have long-term effects from any of that.
That rolls into my next question when you brought up Russia. We'll get back to the Sweetheart Showdown here in a second, but you have, you said recently or last month you just turned pro,
Yes, sir.
So, and you got offered a couple of fights, if I'm not mistaken, but they're not here in this country. They're abroad. Is
Yes,
that correct?
Sir. Yes,
so
sir.
We got a U.S. citizen, Cherokee native who's going to be fighting overseas. Like, how do you feel about that?
I'm actually going in with the feathers mohawk when I go in, and I'm so white that I'm almost iridescent. You can almost see my bones. But my father was Cherokee and my mother's Irish, and I'm going to fight the champion of Africa just next month in Dubai. He's from Uganda, Galola Moses. Looking at fighting in Egypt, Austria, Ireland at the end of the year. In August, I'm going to be fighting an 8-man tournament, and the first fight that I have to fight in that tournament is with a Russian that's their hometown hero, and we're actually fighting in Russia in his hometown. So their why and their reason better be very important to them, because whenever I go overseas to fight, I'm fighting for every child that's in my, I try not to get emotional, fighting for every child that's in my gym, every fighter that's in my gym, female and male, every adult that's in my gym, the people of Okmulgee. I'm fighting for Oklahoma, and when I'm fighting for America, you know, you better be on your toes and bring your A game.
Do you ever have to carry the banner for your fellow tribes people? I mean, like, this is the Indian guy, he's a Cherokee, you know, let's root for the Indians, and sort of get pushed into that, well, he's representing all Indian kind of thing?
Yeah, it can bounce back and forth like that, and that's exactly what I'm going to represent. Whenever I say Oklahoma, you know, this is a native state, and that's very important to me. My father was Cherokee, and my grandmother on my mother's side was Cherokee, and that's just as important to me as anything else, as being Irish. And so, you know, whenever I go over there, it's not just representing Okmulgee in America, but I would definitely be representing Oklahoma at all times when I'm there.
You know, with that coming up, you know, like you said, you're fighting in Dubai here pretty soon. I mean, so I know you're preparing for that right now. How is that like? How are you handling that? Not only preparing for that one, but, you know, you also got, you know, your ladies that you have to get ready as well. Is it overwhelming, or do you say, bring it on, let's just do it every day something new? Or
I'm going to try to go after 5 belts this year. Mm-hmm. And if I get one, I'll be happy, but I'm going after all 5. And I'll tell you what, if you really want to test yourself, try to get 14 women ready for a fight.
14 women that can ring your bell. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. It's very overwhelming. I wake up and I just start the day, you know, I start the day with prayer and then a motivational speech, some Eric Thomas on the way to the gym. By the time I get there, I'm ready for a full day of it. And it stops at 9 o'clock at night, and I go home and nuke my supper just like anyone else. But, you know, really, I'm just really excited to get to do it, to get to travel this year with Rick Sniffen from the United States Muay Thai Association, and just represent Okmulgee. All I want to do is just bring home the belts and just make everybody happy, and just try everybody. Mainly, I want to bring the belts home, put them on the wall in the gym, so that these kids can realize that there is a lot more out there.
Well, bring us back to the tournament. Let's get some logistical information and this kind of thing. When, where, why?
At the Brock Gym this Saturday night, 7 o'clock. The gates will be opening at 5. Other shows and promoters will, some of the prices are pretty outrageous. We will never, ever charge more than $10 at the gate to get into any of our shows from Patty's. And really, it's first come, first serve. Like I said, the gates open at 5 o'clock. You get there and you pay $10, you get a floor seat. You can be ringside for $10. After those seats fill up, we'll just be filling up the rest of the stands. Like I said, it starts at 7 o'clock. The first bell's at 7 o'clock, and we got DJ Goodground. He's coming from Tulsa. He's going to be handling all the music, so it's going to be a great show. During the intermission, we have a major surprise coming, and we're trying to just really revolve this around Valentine's Day, get the couples in there and get the people in there and the kids. And I want all the women, younger and older, the children, I want them to see from Okmulgee that it is okay to become a fighter and go pro if that's what you want to do.
Oh, honey, let's go celebrate Valentine's Day by watching some women beat each other up.
With that, how the Brock Gym is, I guess, detailed and lined out and everything. I mean, even with the ringside seats, you know, you're gonna be close to the ring, of course. But even with the general seats, I mean, you're still pretty close, no matter what. You're gonna be able to see. Is that correct?
Well, what people don't understand is that when I go to a fight or a show, I'm looking at sitting up in the stands, because when you're a ringside, yeah, that's exciting. You might have some sweat hit you or something, but you're having to look through the ropes and around the ref, and you're looking up the entire time. Whereas whenever you're in the regular seating, you can look straight across and see the fight 10 times better.
How many fights are you going to be having having that night for the Sweetheart Showdown?
We're going to be having at least 8, hopefully 9. You never know, though, with these things. Stuff happens. People get sick. People drop out. People get hurt. Whenever they're training for something like this, it's very easy to have a mild injury. And with that, you just can't get in there and fight. But we haven't had any yet, and we train as hard as we can, but we also train as safe as we can.
I'm curious, real quick, how many rounds and how long do these rounds last?
Our exhibition matches are going to be 2 2-minute rounds, and with our other fights where the girls are not wearing gear, there will be 3 2-minute rounds.
Now, with those, the ones that are not wearing gear, are those still amateurs or are those professionals?
Those are amateurs. They are just fighting other fighters that are from other camps and coming here to Okmulgee. And in the long run, the show really revolves around every girl that's fighting in this show Saturday night is from Oklahoma. So I'm looking to try to take wins or loss, win or lose doesn't matter. I'm looking to try to bring them in, bring their coaches in, and just keep this moving for all the women of Okmulgee.
We're gonna have to wrap this up. Tell the listeners, please, whether they're going to be expected with the Sweetheart Showdown, and also will there be weigh-ins or will they get to meet the fighters or anything like that?
Friday night at my gym at 7 o'clock at Patty's is when we will have the weigh-ins. Come down, meet the girls. Not only are we going to have a great show Saturday night, but really went all out with this. We went to a photo shoot and got a lot of pictures made. And so after the fight is over, the girls will be sitting down around the ring where anybody can come down and get an autographed picture of one of the fighters.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in, Jared, and we wish you the best of success with your project here. Now, it's this Saturday, correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much also for having me. Thank you.
Okay. We're gonna take a short break here, and then we'll be back with some community announcements. So stay with us here on Muscogee Radio.
Who am I? Am I native? I don't want people assuming things because I'm Indian. I just want to be me. But how do I live in 2 worlds? Some guys just check out by doing meth. But that ain't for me. Because I see my family, my friends, my drum making, my future. There are a lot of cool things about being who I am. And meth isn't one of them.
Learn more at ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
One Fire Casino in Okmulgee offers Ladies' Day every Monday with $5 match play, VIP days for seniors on Tuesdays, lunchtime match plays on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and several other great drawings and prizes throughout the weekend. Don't forget to take advantage of spinning the wheel on Sundays to win up to $5,000 cash. Be sure to check out the daily meal specials at Council Oak Cafe. There are exciting monthly giveaways with extravagant prizes. Come and play at One Fire Casino, where it really is okay to play with fire.
Welcome back to Muscogee Radio. We're going to go ahead and go with community announcements. Let's start it off with a Sweetheart Dance, which will be February 10th, this Friday, from 6 to 10 at Stokely Event Center. That address is 10111 East 45th Place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. To pre-register or for transportation, please call 918-732-7765.
And another announcement in the same vein, all you need is love. The All You Need Is Love self-love party is coming up on the 14th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's an open house at the Muscogee Creek Nation Executive Building. That's Highway 75 and Loop 56. Delicious sweets, love yourself giveaways, photo booth, music, self-care tools, and other wonderful things to make your day happy. So check it out again. It is February the 14th from 10 to 2.
We have a prayer gathering, which will be coming up on April 1st from 10 to 2 at the Creek County Fairgrounds in Kellyville. They want you to come and pray for the Muscogee Creek Nation and our cities and towns within Creek County, state of Oklahoma, and the United States of America. They're going to be having volunteer meetings February 9th, February 23rd, and March 9th. I got those at 7 p.m. and it'll be at Covenant Harvest Ministry, 722 North Hodge in Sapulpa. For more information, contact Betty Pulver at 918-282-9381.
for those parents out there who are still looking to get some clothing for their students, that program is accepting applications, the school clothing program of the Muscogee Creek Nation, January the 2nd through December 29th, 2017. So you got quite a window there to work with. But all applications must be complete and turned into the office by that date. So Muscogee Creek students who are enrolled in pre-K through 12 or 3 years of age and enrolled in a certified Head Start program are eligible to apply. You can get an application from the Muscogee Creek Nation School Clothing Office behind Social Services. That's 2971 North Wood. Or give them a call there, 918-549-2473.
We have the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. It is income-based, and they're still taking applicants for the heating season, which started at November 1st of last year, and it goes to March 31st. Please come and pick up applications or to apply for the assistance at Muscogee Office, 2971 North Wood Drive, or Southern Regional Office, 333 South Washita, Wetumpka, Oklahoma, or Jenks Office, 715 West Main Street, Suite C in Jenks, or just please call the Energy Program at 918-549-2483.
The very popular Muscogee Language Camp is coming up again this year. This year it will be June 12th through the 16th at Sequoia State Park in Hulbert, Oklahoma. Beautiful location and wonderful place. Language lessons, motivational speaker, traditional arts and crafts, Creek hymns, horseback riding, which is always a favorite of mine, swimming, hay rides, and stomp dance. Now, if you're interested in attending this camp, I suggest you get an application in quickly because it does fill up. And the deadline for those applications will be March 31st. So give them a call at 918-732-7724, or you can find it on Muscogee Creek Nation, nsn.gov, pages, language, hotmail, or give them a call. All right, that's it for us. We're out of ammo as far as this is concerned.
Exactly. Man, we had a good show today. I mean, it was focused on Native athletes, and what they've been doing around not only here in the Mvskoke Creek Nation, but, pretty much it sounds like abroad.
50 is not elderly. 50 is not elderly. I just inject that.
Okay.
The elderly, 50 years old, come on.
That's why I say kind of like take it with a grain of salt. My apologies to Brooks Brewer.
Watch it, you young whippersnapper, you. I'm the old guy at Muskogee Media here, so I can get away with that. It's wild onion season's coming up just right around the corner, and I remember that Oakhurst Indian Fellowship Church had already had one last weekend, I believe. And those are always just incredible events, a lot of turnout. And wild onions, Tefambachi.
Yeah, and those are like the start of many. Those they go till about April. And one of the great things, I think, if it might have been last year or the year before, was one of our coworkers, Jamie Rowland, went through like a little detail with Jason Salzman, our Native News Today host, about how she prepared wild onions, how they got them ready, and that was very, very good subject. It had a lot of good turnout, got a lot of shares.
Yeah, a lot of interest in the subject. I noticed that she went through all the secrets of preparation, but she didn't tell where she got the onions.
And I think that's one of the great things about it too. Like when they prepare, they're going to tell you how to. They can tell you how to make it, but they're not going to tell you where they get it. They don't want everybody flocking to that area. So it's very understandable.
That's their secret stash, and nobody's supposed to ever know. But I'm looking forward now to our listeners. If you've got a dinner coming up, please let us know. We'll try and share it. We've already had questions of people asking us to do just that. Say, well, let us know when those dinners are happening. We want to know.
So please, we encourage you to give us a call. Tell us if there's anything that's coming up, because we want to get that word out definitely, because we want everybody to be coming to those wild onion dinners, especially for the new ones that have never tried it before. We know they want to. We want to give them a whirl, and trust me, wild onion dinners do that.
Oh yeah, my wife was introduced to them a couple of years back, and she absolutely loves it. It's the best. And if you've got one coming up, let us know. We'll try and get it on the program here and share it with you. So That does it for me.
That does it for me, too.
Okay, well, we want to say Mado, Mabo Hedgetscut, Gary Fife, Jehu Jeff Kados.
Darren DeLongio, Jeff Kados.
Please join us again next week for another program, Muscogee Radio, here on 1240 The Brew. You've been listening to Muscogee Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.